12 Conference Softball Championship. Welcome to USA Softball Hall of Fame Complex in Oklahoma City. We're in Pool A, where the number 4 seed Texas Tech Red Raiders will be facing the number 1 seed and the number 1 team in the nation, Oklahoma. Today, we're in pool play as Texas Tech defeated the 6th seed Kansas earlier today, while in Pool B, Oklahoma State with the win over Texas. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Alongside Lauren Chamberlain, I'm Brenda Van Lingen. So Texas Tech comes in. They get that win over Kansas in pool play. They actually finished the regular season with a couple of wins over a ranked opponent in Kentucky. They've got some momentum, but now they face Oklahoma, the number 1 team in the country. What do the Red Raiders have to do to pull off an upset?
Texas Tech needs to stay hungry. They know they have the experience of beating ranked teams, and it shouldn't change the mindset facing a number 1 Oklahoma.
And they'll bring that line up to face Oklahoma. Carly Hamilton, all Big 12 first team, will start things off. Burton was a second-team selection, as well as Jessica Hartwell. As you run down the line, Zoe Jones, freshman, all-freshman team in the Big 12. And Taylor Satchel, a terrific shortstop, the senior, had to move over to the shortstop position from second base from last year. Had never played it in her career, doing a terrific job for the Red Raiders. And they will face the Big 12 Pitcher of the Year, Giselle G. Juarez. What a fantastic year she's had.
Oh, she looks phenomenal, and you can tell that she leads a team. And to think that she just got here in January, that she just got to Norman, Oklahoma and joined a team, she's definitely made her mark so far.
Undefeated at 21-0. Helped Oklahoma through another undefeated stretch, back-to-back undefeated seasons in the Big 12 for the Sooners, as they look for another championship here as they get started with pool play at the Big 12 Championship. As we look at the defense behind Juarez, Aviu, Mendez, and Allo in the outfield. Romero, the Big 12 Player of the Year at third. Lyons at shortstop. Clifton and Green. Kaylee Clifton was awarded Defensive Player of the Year. And Lindsey Elam behind the plate for the Sooners.
You have a solid team in defense, and you see the Big 12 Player of the Year, Sydney Romero, leading the defense at third base, but then Kaylee Clifton being the glue of the defense, as Coach Gasso refers to her as, at second base. So a seasoned infield, a great pitcher. We look to see some defensive gems from the Sooners today.
Patty Gasso, the Big 12 coach again this year, the 4-time national champion. It's the 12th time she's been named Big 12 Coach of the Year, 8 straight, as she guided OU to an unprecedented 8th straight league crown with the 18-0 record. And they will face Texas Tech. Adrian Gregory leading Texas Tech to their best record under her guidance. She's up over 500 now. They've been ranked for the last 12 weeks of the season. They bring some momentum into this game.
They do, and it's her best season so far. And I think when you see Tech, you see the entitlement out the window, the hard workers, and we'll get a little bit more into that later. But just a team that understands the mission that they're on, and I don't think it's going to change against this Oklahoma team.
Oklahoma swept Tech this year, as they did everybody they faced but they played them so long ago. It's almost 2 months ago that these two teams matched up. It was March 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. Oklahoma won the first meeting 5-1, 8-3 in the second meeting, and then on the 24th they run-ruled Tech with a 13-1 victory. So we're about to get things started here in pool play. Texas Tech has already won today with the 7-3 victory over KU. Now they face Oklahoma, and a swing and a pop-up for the first out. Carly Hamilton pops it up.
Can't ask for anything better. A great start from G. Juarez, getting that pop-up on the first pitch. Great start for the Sooners.
Brings Heaven Burton to the plate for the Red Raiders. The redshirt sophomore out of Round Rock, Texas. All Big 12 second team selection.
You can see Tech already being aggressive, which is probably the best game plan that they can have coming in and facing Oklahoma. Last 2 pitches, first pitch swings.
Well, they played so well, Texas Tech in non-conference. They're meeting against Oklahoma in the regular season as another pop-up on a bunt attempt fielded easily by Grace Green at first base.
Good job by Grace Green, heads-up play. Obviously with G. Juarez and her ball kind of moving up, and it's always got spin on it, always got that little tail at the end, it's going to be difficult for bunts, really anything.
That brings up Jessica Hartwell. And you mentioned it. Everybody coming to the plate aggressively here early for Texas Tech. Hartwell also all Big 12 second team. She is the Texas Tech career home run and RBI leader.
Hartwell, one of those players that you want to see with the game on the line, so I'm excited that she is in this Big 12 tournament and we'll get to see her with some action.
Fouls that one away. Juarez, named pitcher of the year. She's #1 in the conference in opponent's batting average with an .043 opponent batting average. It's
That's
just
tough. That's tough if you're going against her. It's going to be something that you know she's going to get you a lot, so you're hoping to get her more than she gets you.
Sits down the side with the strikeout. And the Big 12 Player of the Year, Sydney Romero, will be up first when we come back. Welcome back to Oklahoma City. The Sooners haven't lost since February 22nd, and they bring this lineup to start things off. Romero, the Big 12 Player of the Year. Of you, Clifton, the Defensive Player of the Year. Allo, Grace Green, who's doing a terrific job at first. Knighton at DP, Mendez, Elam, and Lyons, and they will face Missy Zoke, the 5'8" junior out of Winchester, Texas, a transfer from DePaul, who's 16-9 on the season.
We talked with Coach Gregory and said that she came from DePaul with some youngness in her preparation and her mentality coming in, but has definitely paired well with Edmondson throughout the season and looks to go in tough against Oklahoma.
Yeah, Zoke, all Big East first team, both her freshman and sophomore years at DePaul. Romero fouls that one back. Sydney Romero, #1 in the Big 12 in batting average, in home runs, in RBI, and total bases. When you talk to Coach Gasso about what's motivated her this year.
You look back at how she finished her junior year, and I think that she looks back on that and knows that she could have done a bit better, that the team could have done a bit better. And anytime you have that fuel and you don't want to get back to that spot, that's enough fuel moving forward. So she knows what she's capable of. She seems to be feeling really healthy. And again, I love that OU does this, and Coach Gasso always puts that hitter at the top. Lead off. We're coming in hot at the beginning of the game and get her up to bat as many times as she can.
She rips one to left field, just foul.
So we see the power on display from Sydney early in the game, and it looks like she's seeing the ball pretty well already. You can see that ball. I thought it was going to scoot out. It was so close. Good camera angle there. I know she was chomping at the bit on that one.
And we're here at Integris Field at the USA Softball Hall of Fame complex. Has a sharp hit to short, and the first out of the inning. Nice play by Russell. As we take a look at the Red Raider defense, Burton, Hamilton, and Blythe in the outfield. Brianna Russell at third, Taylor Satchel, Zoe Jones at second, and Hartwell at first. Trinity Edwards behind the plate. Fale of you. Fouls that one off, and just to correct that, it is Leach that is behind the plate playing catcher. Trinity Edwards is the DP.
Fale having her best season in a while. Her slash line has improved tremendously this year, and it's been such a nice addition to the OU lineup. And just to see her in the two-hole is great because she's such a clutch hitter. She has gap power. She's a huge asset to this OU lineup.
All Big 12 first-team selection. The senior out of Oceanside with a 2-1 count. Patty Gasso looking on. Letting this high-powered offense go to work. A view. Giving chase and coming together. They are the Texas Tech right side of the outfield. Peyton Blythe able to step in to record the second out.
Fale looked like she got a bit more of that off the first look, but just missed. Clifton steps in, senior, team captain, and all Big 12 first team selection and the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, what a year for Clifton, another senior, this senior-led, senior-dominated team for Oklahoma.
Clifton got to be a part of this 2019 NPF draft where she was drafted to the Chicago Bandits. Huge pickup. That's a player that whether she decides to play or not, or continues to go or not, she's just been such a blessing for softball. And to see these types of players have an opportunity to continue to play and in a professional realm is important. So huge congrats to Kaylee for getting drafted.
Yeah, so exciting to see. I know you're so proud, not only of the Oklahoma players, but all the players that advance and make that kind of move in their career, have that opportunity.
Yeah, it's a huge adjustment, but to be able to say I am a professional softball player is huge. And sometimes we take that for granted, but really to have the title of that and to get that opportunity is a huge blessing.
Popped up behind, out of play. And I beg your pardon, Carly Burton in right field with the catch on the fly ball by a view for the second out of the inning, and a full count now on Clifton. Zoke with an opportunity here to sit down the Sooners in the bottom of the first. But pitches outside and Clifton aboard.
Good idea by Zoke on that pitch, but good job by Kaylee Clifton to hang on.
Allo at the plate.
Jocelyn coming off of a little downer, but then she's picked it up as of recently, and she's just such a fun player to watch, and I really enjoy her at the plate and seeing her growth, and the season has its ups and downs, so to see her kind of step back into her groove has been exciting.
Well, what a story for Allo. The fact that she's on a 10-game hit streak. Patty Gasso decided as she was struggling earlier this season just to not have her go on the trip to Kansas. Had a chance to just be away from softball for a few days. And watches that one go by, though, as Zoke able to have a great bottom of the first for Texas Tech. It's a beautiful day here in Oklahoma City as we go to the top of the second. Pool A play between Texas Tech and Oklahoma. Mostly sunny sky, temperatures about 60. Nice cool day for softball.
Yeah, we thought we were going to see some rain. I think that's cleared out. Hopefully that can stay away as long as possible.
And Trinity Edwards at the plate for the Red Raiders as Edwards, the sophomore out of Moore, Oklahoma, the transfer from Missouri. Her power numbers up quite a bit this year.
Yes, Coach Gregory talked about that. She's just a smart player who understands her body. She's able to make adjustments, so a few things here and there. She's also a very passionate player that's working on controlling her emotions. I know sometimes I understand that as a player that can get in the way, but being smart about your emotions and knowing how to handle them and stay under control is very important.
Takes one high. Juarez in the first inning, the top of the first, just 7 pitches, 6 of them strikes.
She knows how to attack the zone. She's also a top 10 finalist for USA Player of the Year. Just had an outstanding season, so we know that we can see her dominant in this tournament.
Edwards with a swing and a miss, and the count goes to 2-2. And a strikeout for Juarez.
There's that nice off-speed pitch from Juarez, and we're going to see that a lot more in the tournament. It's nice that she can establish it too early in the game, as she's done all season long. And it just stops. Look how far out in front Trinity Edwards was. That's a tough pitch to hit. If she's got that on now, that's looking good for the Sooners for this game.
Juarez takes a look at her wristband as she faces Brianna Russell. Russell has started all 110 games of her career at third base for the Red Raiders.
Bit of a mainstay, and she's also got 12 doubles on the season, so she's got gap power.
And that one fouled away. Oklahoma coming off that sweep of Oklahoma State. Earlier you called the Oklahoma State-Texas game. The Cowgirls were down, came back, and won over Texas to get a good start in pool play today.
OSU definitely made that bounce back pretty quick. I know obviously you're facing a #1 Oklahoma team, and it's difficult to face a team like that, so you kind of just have to brush it off and keep moving forward. Same thing with Oklahoma, keep moving forward, use the momentum of a great Big 12 regular season into this tournament.
And the count goes to 2-2 against Russell.
You see Coach Jennifer Rocha looking on, 2-time national champ coach at University of Florida.
That one popped up and just out of play.
And that's another thing, too. You can take a look at who's in the bullpen helping coach. They've also got Keilani Ricketts, 2-time USA Player of the Year, also on the USSSA Pride. And then Delaney Gorley, same, on the USSSA Pride, has national championship experience with University of Florida. So it's just, you've got a stacked bullpen, stacked knowledge there ready to help you out.
Great coaching staffs on both sides. You saw Adrian Gregory there, helping Texas Tech to a 4th seed this year, and a big swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts here in the second for Juarez.
You can see Juarez just bring it in super tight on the hands. That's such a tough pitch as a righty. Cuts across the plate and up. It's almost like it's going to hit you in the face. You go into defense mode a little bit, but not much you can do on that pitch.
That brings up Peyton Blythe. A first pitch strike. Blythe, the right fielder.
And she missed the first half of the season with injury. And she came back and with a .295 average. She started every conference matchup. She's done a lot since she's been back.
Tries to put the bunt down, and yes, no, they're able to get her. Great defensive play for Oklahoma. The 2 strikeouts and then the put out in the top of the second. Welcome back to the Big 12 Softball Championship at USA Softball Hall of Fame Complex in Oklahoma City. No score here as we go to the bottom of the second. And we're on Integris Field, which is not the field where the Women's College World Series is taking place because there's some big construction still going on.
Yes, because softball, the sport of softball is growing, and we see the numbers every single year at the Women's College World Series. So many fans are pouring in to see the softball action that there's no choice but to expand, and I think that's so great for the sport of softball, and it's just such a testament to how cool this game is. All the different aspects of the game that are so appealing, and you get one person to come in one time and they're hooked.
It's so exciting. It does mean some shifts here for the Big 12 Championship as the games are not being played on the main field, but able to bring in some bleachers out in the outfield to accommodate all the fans that love to watch softball.
And I think just being in that complex as well is special, and you feel the vibe when you go through those gates. You know it's a special place. So many big-time moments and games have happened in the complex, so it's definitely exciting to be there. You can see all of that being built. That's so exciting. This is a historic place.
It looks terrific. It looks absolutely terrific. Grace Green at the plate, facing Missy Zoke. And Green able to take first. As that brings up Shay Knighton. And what a story, what a player Shay Knighton has been, and what a tough season she's had to go through with just the knees just breaking down.
Yeah, you can see the imprint almost of a brace that she uses or something to kind of keep it in. But injuries are always difficult, and it kind of goes back to your character and how you can deal with those tough situations and how you can remain important to the team and remain a leader. And I know that Grace Green over at first base has gotten a lot of constructive advice and just support from Shay Knighton. So having them both back to back is important.
Looking to see if she went, and she did not, according to first base umpire.
What's really been so impressive is this Texas Tech team, and I want to touch on their motto. It's burn and conquer, which I think is so awesome. It's burn our boats, and we have no excuse. There is no going back. We don't have a backup plan. This is all we have.
They charge in, able to get Knighton at first, but Green advances to second.
Coach Gregory also talked about wanting to break out of the existing Texas Tech softball mode and go deep and push deeper into postseason. They're excited to be a young, good, and ranked team. With the injuries that we're talking about, there's only 6 upperclassmen.
Mendez comes to the plate, but as you think about Texas Tech, what an opportunity in this game. Nobody's been able to beat Oklahoma in Big 12 play. They bring some momentum, and you're right, that mentality of burn and conquer. Leave the excuses behind, just go play. They should be feeling very free in this game today.
Well, it's almost a no fear, and you talk about OU has swept every single opponent in the Big 12, so you know that you got beat. What are we going to do about that now, right? The best thing that Tech can do is move forward and have a why not us attitude, a why not us approach, that any day, especially in the Big 12 tournament, anybody's beatable.
And Texas Tech learning to play with those high expectations this year. They've been ranked in the top 25 the last 12 weeks. That's a program record for the Red Raiders, and to have that sustained success. And they look like a team that has an opportunity to host regional rounds of the NCAA tournament.
They've been working closely also with a sports psychologist.
And a great throw down to third, but Green under the tag.
Great read by Green on that. That's a huge base to take, especially from second with that closer base at third. You don't see that too much, so that's a huge read by Green. Looks like as soon as she saw it in the dirt, she took off a huge first step. Any hesitation there, she's out, and that's a huge momentum stopper for Oklahoma.
And that's her 7th stolen base of the season.
Not playing like a freshman, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Come into a team with this much success, a lot of high expectations, and just steps in. Mendez with the full count, with 1 out and a runner at third. And she draws the walk. So Green reached first base on a walk. She advanced on the hit by Knighton, but now let's look again as she was able to get to third.
Just scoots in there.
So a couple of walks for the Sooners have runners at first and third with 1 out, and the Red Raiders going to come together to have a discussion.
For me, at all costs, we're trying to get the runner at third and not to score. I think that's important against an OU explosive offense, but also the pitching staff that they have. It's difficult to score runs against them, especially going back to that sweep earlier in the season. So I think if Texas Tech can keep Grace Green at third and just get outs and focus on outs, that's going to be important.
Oklahoma leads the nation in batting average. They also lead with on-base percentage at .456. And Lindsey Elam, the catcher, who Patty Gasso just talks about how proud she is of her, what a huge year she has had, is at the plate now with runners at first and third.
Coach considers her the unsung hero.
She lays down a bunt, and Oklahoma able to score, and Elam is safe. So a squeeze, the RBI for Elam. Clutch squeeze. You can see the late approach with the bat. Not really sure. Zook doesn't know what to do, and everybody's safe. Great momentum from Oklahoma. So the great base running from Grace Green gives Oklahoma the first score of the day. And runners at first and second for Oklahoma with Grace Lyons at the plate with 1 out. Lyons, another freshman on the all Big 12 freshman team. Hitting .275 on the year. Squares to bunt. The throw down to third, and again under the tag. This time it's Mendez advancing, and Elam also moves up to second. What you see Grace Lyons do is as soon as she shows bunt, it pulls up Brianna Russell, exposing Taylor Satchel to that play at third base, which is an extremely difficult play to make, especially with Mendez on the base path. And it puts 2 Sooners in scoring position for Lyons, and then a pitch gets away and another score for the Sooners.
Kelsey Leach just lets that one get away from her. Again, it's tough. Zoe kind of let that one bounce a little bit. Tough hop because that hop's high. Mendez was able to come in easy on that.
So Leach and Zoke come together to talk about it. Oklahoma is such a powerful, explosive team. To give them a couple of free passes in an inning, it's really hard to allow them to do that because they're so good offensively.
Well, you know they're already going to score, and to kind of give it to them is frustrating. So I think if Tech can stop the damage as soon as they can, that's going to put them in good shape because they can still handle a 2-0 lead. That's not too far out of your reach, but when you give Oklahoma any type of momentum, they run with it, and we've seen that all season.
A 1-2 count. Taylor Satchel comes in to Zoke for an encouraging word.
You can see Zoke, that ball just drops off the table.
And a fly ball to right field. Caught. And the Sooners able to scratch a couple of runs across the plate. They take a 2-0 lead to the top of the third. Welcome back to the Phillips 66 Big 12 Softball Championship in Oklahoma City. The #1 team in the country, the Sooners, leading 2-0 as Romero flew out for the third out. Zoe Jones, all Big 12 freshman for Texas Tech at the plate. Jones batting .341 on the year.
Also has 10 multi-hit games during the regular season, so has had quite the productive year here.
At the plate and in the field, this is one of those players that, because of the injury to Kiana Workman, last year's shortstop, who's out for the season, Taylor Satchel had to move from second base over to shortstop, and that put Zoe Jones here over to second base, and she started all 51 games at second base for the Red Raiders.
Welcome, freshman.
Step right in and be expected to play a big role.
And that goes back to what Coach Gregory was talking about, is the no entitlement, the I will do anything for the team, put me wherever you need. And it's important when freshmen come in to D1 programs and can have the ability to be moved anywhere at any time. So many times young players get stuck in one position. And that's their one thing that they'll do no matter what. And I'm the best shortstop, I'm the best this. And if they can get back in.
Jones thought she had the walk, but a called strike and a full count. And Juarez puts that one right by Jones. Fourth strikeout of the game for Juarez.
That pitch is so dirty. Look at it just drop off. All of the Texas Tech hitters that have seen this pitch so far are so far out in front. Those swings hurt when you miss. You at least want to make contact. It hurts when you miss.
Kelsey Leach at the plate. She had a solo home run in the bottom of the fourth inning against Kansas earlier today, as the Red Raiders beat the Jayhawks 7-4 in the first game of pool play. Leach with now 9 home runs on the season. As she takes that one outside. Count moves to 2-1.
The other cool thing that we heard was that Texas Tech has been working with a sports psychologist, which I'm such a huge fan of. And I did that when I was in college. I really stress the importance of meeting with someone, and even if it's just to kind of unload your thoughts on someone that's not your teammate or it has nothing to do with the team. I think that's a huge outlet that some of these universities provide for their players. The team's specifically been working on staying competitive and hungry in conference. No let up, making sure, again, burn and conquer, keep going, keep moving, keep the same competitive mindset throughout season.
Well, and Texas Tech had such a great non-conference. They went 27-2 before they started Big 12 play, and then the first team they met was Oklahoma. And
tough,
so,
tough setup.
Right, and so they kind of stumbled and didn't have as good of run in the Big 12 as they wanted. They finished 8-10, fourth. And here's a look at Leach's home run from that earlier game against Kansas.
Beautiful extension. You see the ball elevated a little bit. Doesn't even have to do too much with it. Just get the good part of the barrel on the ball.
And she draws a walk to give Texas Tech its first base runner of the day. And And that brings up Taylor Satchel to the plate. Satchel, who we talked of earlier when Kiana Workman, who was the starting shortstop last year, went down with the injury. Satchel had to move from second base to shortstop, which isn't easy. She hadn't played shortstop in college, and Coach Gregory talked to us about the fact that she is so impressed with how Taylor Satchel's taken on that responsibility.
Situations like injury and having things happen that are kind of out of your control and you don't know what to do, it forces players to step up, and especially in a situation where she hadn't even played shortstop in college, but then goes and, hey, I'm good. I'm an athlete. I know how to do it. I can pick it up. I can figure it out. And that's just a testament to the type of teammates that are on this Tech team.
Diving back safely is Leach at first.
They say pressure makes diamonds. I love it. Big players step up in big situations.
And Billie Jean King talks about the fact that pressure is a privilege. And Satchel with a big swing and another strikeout for Juarez. Now 5 strikeouts on the game as Texas Tech goes to the top of the order.
The key with Tech is just to shorten up their swings just a bit. Juarez's ball moves a lot when it goes in and out of that zone, so to keep it simple and try to get barrel on ball.
Juarez with 5 strikeouts in the last 7 batters. As Hamilton, top of the lineup, she popped up her first at-bat.
Hamilton was a 3-time Big 12 Player of the Week recipient this season.
Yeah, led the Big 12 during the regular season with 73 hits.
And I believe I see 7 triples. Hey-oh. Speed. That's what I'd like to think I had. I would tell people that, you know, if they asked. I wasn't above lying about my stats. When it came to speed, that's all.
We're going to go with it. And the strikeout again by Juarez. So 6 strikeouts now for the Big 12 Pitcher of the Year. And Texas Tech still hasn't been able to score. The Sooners lead 2-0 as we go to the bottom of the third. Welcome back to the Big 12 Softball Championship here in Oklahoma City. The Sooners leading 2-0 alongside Lauren Chamberlain. I'm Brenda Van Lingen. And back-to-back undefeated seasons in Big 12 play for the Sooners as a view comes to the plate. And we talked to each of the coaches before the tournament about their motto, and it's all about the championship mindset for the Sooners.
Yeah, championship mindset's been a mainstay as the motto for teams in the past. It's doing the little things. It's being held to a higher standard. I remember Coach Gasso specifically telling us, be women amongst girls. She always said that, be a level up above the opponent and just look different in everything that you do.
And how did that manifest itself for you? When you heard those words from Coach Gasso, how did you then portray that on the field?
I just wanted to boss up. I did. I mean, she's a boss, and you see that from her, and that's when you can see your leader that's telling you to do something, live out what they're saying. That can motivate an entire team.
Just catching the outside corner, pushes to 2-2. You know, as we talked to all the coaches to prepare for the Big 12 Championship and talked to Coach Gaetti from Oklahoma State, he talked about the fact that, you know, you can look at Oklahoma and yes, there are talented teams as that one goes foul. There are tough teams, but he really described this team for Oklahoma as Patty tough, that they take on the toughness of Patty Gasso.
Patty tough, and that's just tough in general, and being able to play for your team no matter what, and you want to be a part of that lineup, and when there's something so special going on, that especially is found at the University of Oklahoma, you don't want to miss things. So, you know, if you're not feeling good or this or that, you want to stay in the lineup. You don't want to be missing the action. So that's always been important to Coach Gasso.
Full count, 2 of you. right out to center field at her first at-bat. Fouls that one out of play. Again, we're at the USA Softball Hall of Fame complex in Oklahoma City. We're on the Integris field today as construction going on the main field in preparation for the Women's College World Series. And reaching on walk is a view. And that's what got Texas Tech into trouble in the second inning. Both players that walked for Oklahoma in the bottom of the second ended up scoring, and that's why Oklahoma's ahead 2-0 now as Kaylee Clifton comes to the plate.
Kaylee Clifton's been a really fun player to watch blossom into the team captain that she is and the senior that she is. We said earlier, Coach refers to her as the glue of the team. She's an old style player. She works very hard. Another thing we noticed, she never complains. I think that's a cool characteristic, especially from a coach's standpoint, to not have a player that complains all the time. That's pretty cool.
And she's a native of Wayne, Oklahoma, and just grew up wanting to be a Sooner, and what a contributor she has been. As a freshman, she was all Big 12 second team, got that honor again as a sophomore and a junior as she takes a big cut at that one, and this year honored with Defensive Player of the Year and all Big 12 first team. Just a solid contributor throughout her career.
She also gets it done in the classroom. I know she's had some academic awards as well.
Her sister Chloe plays softball at Seminole State College as she takes that one outside.
Zook looking to get her team a little bit of momentum. Something, keep it in the infield, let your defense play, possibly spark a double play.
And another walk. So Clifton walks both of her plate appearances, and now 2 base runners on the pads for the Sooners because of walks issued by Zook.
And the walks the balls weren't missing by much, so she is right there. That's something to note. But again, to this OU team, giving them free bases with the types of bats that they have throughout their lineup is dangerous.
And of course, it brings up Jocelyn Allo, who all Big 12 first teamer. Last year, she was the National Freshman of the Year, a terrific power hitter. We already talked about earlier how she took a couple of games off. Patty Gasso did not allow her on the Kansas road trip, and since then, her demeanor, her approach at the plate has been completely different.
I think it's different, too, with different players and the expectations that are set on players. It's hard to manage. There's so much going on, and a lot of it lies on your shoulders, which is something that at the same time, you've got such a good lineup. Nothing relies on one person, right? You don't need one person. So for Jocelyn to kind of take the pressure off and come back with a new, refreshed mindset of, hey, like, I want to enjoy this experience. I don't get these at-bats, back once they're gone, and to have more of a team mindset. And you've seen her numbers jump and spike, and you see that smile, and we saw her dancing in the outfield before the game, which is such a joy, because I do understand the pressure that comes on home run hitters. And when you perform and you have a freshman season like Jocelyn had with the 30 home runs, it's almost expected all the time. And it's almost an unfair expectation. And when she's, you think she's slumping, she's not. She's just not hitting a home run. She's still producing, but it's not a slump. So I think if the fans can kind of, enjoy the journey with her and not put too much pressure on her too, that would be good.
And you have really developed a close relationship with her.
Yeah, I love Jocelyn, and I see myself in her, and our paths are very similar. And I mean, every other day last season was the same.
Well, she hits it to the infield, but it's picked up and not able to be secured. That time, Taylor Satchel, who has only had 3 errors all year long, not able to complete the play.
You can see the flip was there. It just got caught up in her glove a little bit. And when you're that close and a ball's moving that fast, it's sometimes hard.
So the bases loaded, no outs, brings Grace Green to the plate for the Sooners.
Green, a top 10 finalist for NFCA Freshman of the Year. Has 14 home runs on the year.
And she led in conference play only. She had the most home runs with 9 of anybody in the conference. That one gets away behind the plate, and the Sooners able to score there. So another run scored for Oklahoma on mistakes for Texas Tech.
You see Kelsey Leach behind the plate is getting some tough breaks with those hops. It looked extremely similar to the last pass ball that we saw that scored a run. Another easy score.
So the Sooners up 3-0 here in the bottom of the third. Sharply hit to Satchel. She comes home. Going to be a rundown. Were they able to get the tag? Yes. So the out on the tag on Clifton, but Allo able to advance, and then Green makes it to second.
Good heads-up play by Satchel to understand where your runners are at. You can see Clifton, the wheels turning a little bit to try to get in that rundown. At least she knew she was probably hosed at home if she continued to go. So to kind of create some havoc, but Tech under control executed the play.
So one out, bringing Shay Knighton. And a driving ball deep to left field. It's in play. Oklahoma scores both on the pads.
That's why they call her clutch. Shay Knighton delivers again. Been a difficult season for Shay Knighton, but still knows how to come up in those big moments. We've seen her do it on this big stage so many times. Just a confident swing. She knew that that was the pitch she wanted to hit and did exactly what she should have done with it.
Just inches from going over the left field fence. The 2 RBI double for the senior. And it brings Mendez to the plate. And this is why Oklahoma, #1 in the nation overall, but #1 in so many offensive categories. Batting average, on-base percentage, slugging percentage, home runs per game. There is not any room to take a breath in this Oklahoma lineup.
There isn't. And if you're Zoke and Tech defense, you're wanting to lay your body on the line, make a play. You need some type of momentum to get your team in the dugout and have a chance, because when Oklahoma gets rolling, they don't stop.
They just steamroll.
Yep.
5-0 lead for the Sooners. Just one out here in the bottom of the third. The bunt laid down, beautiful bunt, but moves Knighton over to third.
Great job by Mendez for the one-out bunt. Perfectly executed, perfectly laid down, does the little things. Mendez is known for being a contact hitter, put the ball in play, do her job, move her runners. So she's someone to keep an eye on throughout this tournament, just moving runners, doing her job, and kind of being that spark for OU.
Brings up Lindsey Elam with 2 outs. Elam with the squeeze and the RBI. Last inning when she was up.
Nice off-speed pitch there by Zoke. The best thing Zoke can do is keep these OU hitters off balance, and the fact that she has an off-speed established is going to be big for her.
Scooped up by Russell, and the third out. but 3 runs scored for Oklahoma here in the third.
Shade Knighton just gets a hold of this ball. We almost thought it was gone, but it hits off the fence, and she clutches up yet again for the Sooners.
Welcome back to Oklahoma City, the Big 12 Softball Championship. The Sooners leading 5-0 as we go to the top of the fourth. And for the first time in history in the Big 12, the Oklahoma Sooners swept all the individual awards.
The best players are starting to come to the Big 12, and especially Oklahoma. It's so good for recruiting to see our conference and Big 12 conference. Being an alumni, I get so excited about this, to see the power coming to this conference, and it's showing up, especially in this Big 12 tournament.
Well, and Oklahoma has been so dominant as a nice little base hit, flares into left center field, and legging it in for a double. Heaven Burton for Texas Tech. So a good response to the run scored by Oklahoma, and Burton with a double.
Burton heads up base running. You see any type of juggle in the outfield with her speed. You can see her, again, peppering softball, perfectly placed ball, which you would think would be a single, but as soon as she sees that ball slide past Mendez, she's into second for a double.
Yeah, just great heads-up base running for Burton, all Big 12 second-teamer, and now Jessica Hartwell at the plate. And we were mentioning, even though Oklahoma swept all the individual awards, when you look at how the Big 12 is getting stronger, 4 teams ranked in the top 25 a good deal of the season, and great players throughout. As you mentioned, a lot of great players being attracted to the Big 12 Conference.
What I'm excited about, too, is to see these stadiums be renovated. And I think when you create a demand for softball and you see how good these players are, and they consistently win, and you see the fans come, you're going to start to see some good complexes here. So I'm excited for the state of Big 12 and where everybody's at.
Fantastic to see all the renovation going on. And Hartwell at the plate, you know, she has been a terrific player throughout her career, and she had shoulder surgery in the offseason, so hasn't had quite as much power this year. But on senior day against 21st ranked Kentucky, she hit the go-ahead home run in the 6th inning in her last at-bat at home. She strikes out here, but what a way to finish her career at home at Texas Tech in the regular season.
Yeah, and Coach Gregory was talking about that sports psychologist, and the team's been working on staying hungry, and that's what Jessica Hartwell has done.
Now, she has struck out both times against Juarez today. Juarez now with 7 strikeouts.
Dealing.
And it brings Trinity Edwards to the plate. Kevin Burton at second with that leadoff double. Edwards out of nearby Moore, Oklahoma, went to South Moore High School. And she helped lead South Moore to the Oklahoma Class 6A state championship in 2013. So an opportunity for her to come home and play near her hometown. That one bounces in and heads up base running, but the throw on time. Heaven Burton couldn't get there, and Elam guns her down.
Elam with a little bobble, but no problem, keeps the ball in front. And look at the cannon from Elam. Out by a few steps. Great heads-up defensive play.
So that removes the scorer in, or the base runner in scoring position for Tech. Edwards with a 1-1 count. Looks like she thought it was low.
Juarez really going to that off-speed pitch and doing it a lot. And that's tough for the Tech lineup because they can't get comfortable. They can't get into a groove when you've got speed pitches changing, or the pitch of the speed of the pitch changing so much.
Fooled Edwards again. She struck out for the 2nd time in the game, and the threat for Texas Tech taken away. Oklahoma with just 1 hit, but they've scored 5 runs. Aggressive base running.
Coach Gasso talked about improving on the base running from the past series with OSU, and you can see that it's happening here, and it's gotten Oklahoma some great momentum at the beginning of this game.
Sooners leading 5-0 here as we go to the bottom of the fourth, and it's forced a pitching change for Texas Tech as Aaron Edmondson, who pitched earlier in the 7-3 victory over Kansas in pool play, now steps in, the left-handed pitcher out of Deer Park, Texas, 19-3 on the year. Last year, she was a member of the All-Big 12 freshman team. This year, with 152 innings pitched coming into the Big 12 championship with a 2.99 ERA. And she is facing the bottom of the lineup, Grace Lyons, the shortstop who struck out her first at-bat, is at the plate.
You can see Kelsey Leach kind of playing around with that arm, the signs on her arm. And I saw something so funny on Twitter talking about, I think Jen Schroeder said it and she tweeted it, talking about 10-year-old softball teams using play cards. What's going on?
Well, they're all...
What's happening? They see it, I guess, but there's certain things you should see and just don't take it. Nope, keep the integrity of the 10-year-old game, please.
What do you think they have on those wristbands?
I don't smile, like, you know, don't be your pants. Yeah. Raise your hand for the bathroom. I don't know. Like, what do you have? Just let them play. I thought that was so funny.
Well, this has been fun joining you here in Oklahoma City for the Big 12 Championship. I know you did not actually play in the Big 12 tournament.
No.
The Big 12 tournament did not exist from 2010 to 2016 as there were changes going on in the conference. Brought it back 2 years ago. Oklahoma has won both Big 12 championship titles since bringing it back, lifting it into right field, and Peyton Blythe there for the out. But you didn't play in this atmosphere.
No, I didn't. And I look at the tournament itself, and I like the idea of competing for a championship before you head into postseason. I don't know if I would have liked that necessarily. I would have liked the break a little bit, but it would have been a fun tournament to be a part of.
Aaron Edmondson, a good look at her numbers with 146 strikeouts on the year. Top of the lineup for Oklahoma, Sydney Romero back at the plate. Flew out to right field her last at-bat.
Sydney Romero was a first-round draft pick in the NPF draft to the USSSA Pride, so future teammate gets to join her sister Sierra Romero, who is University of Michigan player.
How fun will that be for those two?
Oh, they're going to love it. They're going to love it. They're so tight as sisters, and it's going to be fun for me, too. I've seen Sydney Romero grow up, and she was on the recruiting trips, and her little face on the sidelines was, at the football games, was something I remember, and to see her just dominating the college scene has been a treat.
When you've talked about how she was motivated by how last season ended for her, and she has come through to lead the Big 12 in batting average this year. She's the Big 12 Player of the Year. And it's postseason time. It's time to finish strong where she did not feel that she did last year. And she's able to get on, and another base runner for the Sooners.
Romero almost got tied up a little bit on that pitch. You could see it not come off as hot as she thought off the bat. Took a weird hop, but any type of bobble is going to be a hit every time for the Sooners.
So a one-out single for Romero, bringing a view to the plate.
Edmondson, a kind of get yourself out pitcher, a little spinny, throws your timing off a bit from Zoke. We always had a harder time with those pitchers that kind of hover the ball. You didn't really know exactly what it was doing. It was off, the speed was off just enough to throw you off, and I think that's what we see with Edmondson.
You know, anything you can do to try to keep these Oklahoma Sooners off balance so strong throughout the lineup. Oklahoma has won 38 straight games. That ties an NCAA Division I record for consecutive wins in a season. And the walk issued to Aviu. So she walks in back-to-back plate appearances, bringing up Kaylee Clifton once again.
And teams change when they experience losing. So for these seniors, their first 2 years, all they knew was winning.
Yeah.
They got to that championship stage, that game, and they won every time. So they didn't understand really the sting of loss and failure. So again, with the senior class, how they finished last season, it was their first taste of, oh my goodness, we didn't win the whole thing. So that changes a team. It can change the mindset and what they feel, and it's almost a different purpose heading back in.
Kaylee Clifton, one of those seniors that won the 2 national championships her freshman and sophomore season, came up short last year, but this is a very focused Sooner squad.
Coach Gasso mentioned that she's more managing than coaching. She's done that with teams in the past where there's not too much of a need to keep pressing and keep teaching. When your team knows it, or they know it. She loves to see the team work together and they feed off of each other. Their energy's great.
Clifton rips that one foul. And Patty also talked to us about the fact that this is a team that when you tell them they can't do something or it's going to be very difficult, they want to prove her wrong. She told them it would be very difficult to go undefeated yet again in the Big 12 in back-to-back seasons because this conference is so difficult. And what they do, they come through and again with an 18-0 record in Big 12 play.
That's always been the style, I feel like, of OU. Tell us we can't do something, and they'll go back and do it. Kind of a prove you wrong.
2-2 pitch.
And really, we see that, too, from the Tech side as well. Just the Texas Tech mold that they're trying to break out of. And they've had an incredible season, too.
Clifton, one of the top in the conference in reaching on a walk, 35 on the year.
I believe she set the OU career record for hit by pitch. I remember looking up every time, and I'd see her getting hit by a pitch almost every at bat.
Finds a way to get on. Puts it into play. Nice glove. And good work by Edmondson in the circle, able to get the lead runner in Romero out for the second out of the inning.
Great pitch by Edmondson, and then also fielding her position, heads up play to get the lead runner at third. You can see Clifton hit that ball pretty hard, so that's a great grab by Edmondson.
So Edmondson helping herself out. And it brings Allo to the plate. She reached on an error in the third inning. Runners at first and second with 2 outs.
Jocelyn was also at the USA national team tryouts, the selections in January, and she was, I believe, the youngest there.
Takes that one. And now Allo advantage. You have to be so careful, especially the way Allo is hitting lately. 10-game hitting streak, 7 home runs during that stretch. And drills it up the middle, but again, another great defensive play by the pitcher Edmondson, and Texas Tech gets out of trouble. The Sooners still leading 5-0. Welcome back to the Phillips 66 Big 12 Women's Softball Championship. Oklahoma leading 5-0 as we go to the top of the 5th. And G. Juarez, what a terrific season she's had. The Big 12 Pitcher of the Year, leading in wins, as Edmondson in the circle now for Texas Tech right behind her. But Juarez has been fantastic yet again to this year, or she's been fantastic this year, and 8 strikeouts already today. And the fun thing is you look at Texas Tech. We talked about Adrian Gregory, the head coach, taking over in 2015, having her best year at Texas Tech. They've been ranked the last 12 weeks. And at first base, Kenzie Davis, a player that experienced a lot of injuries, so they moved her to be a student assistant.
Yeah, she was kept from playing due to 4 knee surgeries and I believe 4 concussions. So now she's disqualified, but serves as a student coach, coaching at first base. And she's been the team captain 2 years in a row without playing.
Wow.
That's a huge statement.
A lot of respect.
Yeah, her leadership, her ability to stay there with her team while wearing a warm-up jacket. It's tough to do that when you don't have the uniform as your go-to and a way to show your team that you're part of the team, and especially when you're not dressed out. It's a testament to her character that she has remained captain and been such a pivotal part of this team.
Yeah, Adrian Gregory just had such high praise for Kenzie and what she's meant to this team in that student assistant role. And we just want to give a shout out as she's done a terrific job. Brianna Russell at the plate for Tech. She struck out in the 2nd inning.
Great opportunity for Russell and Tech to gain some momentum, get some runners on with nobody out or 1 out, just to get some type of energy on their side and challenge Oklahoma.
Rips it foul. Yeah, Texas Tech, we mentioned they were 27-2 in non-conference play before the Big 12 started. They went 8-10 in the Big 12, but then they finished with 4 games against non-conference opponents. They went 3-1 in that stretch, and 2 of their wins were over 21st ranked Kentucky. Gave them some momentum coming into the tournament.
Absolutely, and when you know you can get those big wins against ranked opponents, it's nice going into these big tournaments, especially slated your 2nd game of the day against a number 1 Oklahoma. And just heading into postseason, it's the Big 12 tournament's not the end. For some it is, but for these big teams it's not. So to get this experience, know what you're capable of, and kind of keep those ranked wins in your back pocket is going to be important moving forward.
Russell strikes out looking, the 9th strikeout for Juarez. And it brings up Peyton Blythe.
Blythe had her first home run this season that sparked the win against number 21 Kentucky, so got it done in a ranked situation as well. Just knowing that you've done that, having the experience and the knowledge that you are capable of doing that is so huge in mindset of players. You don't forget about those things. You know you're capable. It's almost that boost of confidence, especially, as we said, she missed the first half of season due to injury. And injuries are tough. You question yourself when you come back. You're not sure if you've still got it, things like that. I've had my share of injuries, and when you can come back and be a key component and win against ranked teams, it's a good boost to your morale.
Yeah, she has been a starter, Peyton Blythe, since March 30th. The 5'6" freshman out of Hughes Springs, Texas. And another strikeout. 10 strikeouts for Juarez equals the number of strikeouts she had in the 2 games against Texas Tech earlier this year.
Again, it's that off-speed pitch. She keeps going back. If I'm Tech, I'm almost maybe switch the game plan a little bit, knowing that she's flipping that changeup so much. Maybe sit on it every once in a while just to change the speed that Juarez is moving at. She's moving quickly. She's sure of herself. You can see her little braid flip. I mean, everything's working. She's strutting out there. So if you can do something to break up that momentum, change a game plan so it's not repetitively doing the same thing over and over, that's going to give you an edge that you need going against a team like Oklahoma.
Yeah, Zoe Jones at the plate right now. That's easier said than done, as Juarez has not lost yet this season. 21-0 overall, 9-0 against Big 12 opponents. and now she has 6 straight starts with 10 or more strikeouts.
And I've played again, I continue to play, and I play against pitchers that have, especially in the NPF, these good off-speed pitches. And a lot of the times you know it's coming, and you can pick it, and you can see it, and you can still sit on it, and you still can't hit it. So there's certain situations when it's that good, it's kind of like tough luck. I can even show you that I'm flipping it, and let's see if you can hit it.
1-2 pitch. And Jones able to lay off that one. Jones has started all 51 games at second base this year for the Red Raiders. And she's showing some patience at the plate.
In a game where you know, as a tech lineup, especially facing Juarez, that you're gonna get sat down once or twice, it's about learning what you can. Take the good out of the at-bat that you had. If it was a bad one, learn something and go from there.
But another strikeout. 11 strikeouts for G. Juarez, striking out the side here in the top of the 5th inning. Welcome back to the Big 12 Softball Championship in Oklahoma City. Today is pool play as we're in the second game. Texas Tech beat Kansas in game number 1. They trail Oklahoma 5-0. As you look at Pool B, Oklahoma State with a comeback victory over Texas. And in the bottom of the 5th, the 5th seed Iowa State currently leading the Longhorns 2-0. And let's take a look over on the other field. Here's the home run that put the Cyclones up.
Looks like Bollinger just left that a little too far over the plate. Perfect extension, puts a charge into that ball. And it is, we're getting into postseason, regular season's done. This is when things start happening and teams just get, everybody starts over. I've heard teams refer to it almost as their 3rd season, and this is where it begins, and this is where we flush everything and we start anew. So we're probably gonna see a little bit more of that heading into this postseason.
Grace Green at the plate. Yeah, 3rd season, you've got non-conference play, then you ramp it up for your conference opponents, and now it's conference tournament time, postseason play. You like those home runs.
I do.
Just a little bit.
Oh, no, I love them. Keep them coming so I can talk about it. I just love home runs.
Well, we haven't seen one in this game, which Oklahoma leads the nation. We almost saw it when Knighton stepped up for that 2 RBI double, just missed a home run.
We've had a couple balls just missing, hitting off the top of the fence, hitting the bottom of the fence. I mean, something in the air or what? It's crisp. I'm like, let the ball fly. Let's go, Oklahoma. Come on.
Green flares it out into right center field, and she's going to leg out a double as it gets to the fence. And Grace Green gives the Sooners a base runner to get things started here in the bottom of the 5th.
Grace Green does a great job of just letting the ball travel. Obviously, Edmondson, there's speed off of her pitch, so she tracks it all the way in. We often see players try to reach out and stay early, knowing that there's power to their right side in that gap. Grace Green does a great job showing her strength to the opposite side.
7th double of the season for the freshman. And it brings to the plate Shay Knighton. We were just talking about her last at bat, the 2 RBI double.
And Shay's been kind of on a day-to-day basis with Coach Gasso as far as, you know, communicating about her knee and how she feels. Sometimes she's good enough to play first base. I feel good. Other days it's, hey, Coach, it's not going to happen today. You know, let's try that DP spot, which I think is smart as a player, because sometimes you want to work through your injury and be there all the time. But if you know that that's not your best and that's not the team's best or in the team's best interest, it's mature, I think, of Shay to have those conversations with Coach. That's not always easy to do.
No, it's not. It's a Big 12 Player of the Year was Shay Knighton in her sophomore year. All Big 12 first team last year. She's meant so much to this program, helping to lead them to 2 national championships. But Patty Gasso trusts her implicitly to be able to say, Coach, I just don't feel it today. I shouldn't be out running around in the outfield, but she can still contribute at the plate. She strikes out there swinging, but such a mature, important part of this team.
Big out for Edmondson right there, getting Shea to chase the ball up. Again, you've got that spin and that tail, and you're not really sure what's going to happen with this pitch. And it almost kind of knuckled there for a sec. You can definitely tell there's movement on Edmondson's ball. Little different look that I'm sure the Sooners are used to.
1 out brings Nicole Mendez to the plate.
Mendez also off the field, good stuff. Represents the Big 12 at SAC meetings. So she goes to make important rule changes and decisions on behalf of student athletes. So a lot of the rule changes that these athletes in the Big 12 see, Nicole Mendez has had a hand on it. I think that's a pretty cool thing to highlight. It's not all happening on the field. You're contributing in life in general.
In the classroom, in a leadership role. So important that these young women have the opportunity for their voices to be heard. As she drops one into right field, and a base hit moves Green over to third, and now runners at first and third for the Sooners with 1 out.
Mendez kind of goes down to get that pitch, hits it a little bit off the end of her bat, and just finds the hole in there. That's all you need to do with runners on base. Just move your runners. We don't need anything too big, and that's what Nicole Mendez does best.
So a pinch hitter into the lineup for Lindsay Elam. It's Kylie Lundberg. Lundberg, 23 at-bats on the season, 7 hits. So an opportunity for the senior out of Lakewood, California to play here in postseason. And she squares to bunt. The steal attempt is good, and Oklahoma again with the great base running, and that's now their 4th stolen base of the game. That's a season high. So runners now at second and third for Kylie Lundberg.
Lundberg's come up clutch a few times this season in the pinch hitter role, specifically at the University of Texas for that big Red River Rivalry season, or I'm sorry, excuse me, series. And having power from the bench is so important, and especially doing that in the regular season can give you that comfort level of doing it in the big tournaments like this.
And a strikeout for Edmondson, so she sits Lundberg down for the 2nd out, and that brings up Grace Lyons at the bottom of the order for the Sooners.
You can see again Edmondson climbing the zone, and this is important for your Tech team to see that yes, we're down 5-0, but Edmondson's still doing her job to keep us in this game, to try to get some momentum. It's not just a steamroll. It's, hey, I'm still here, I'm still pitching well, I'm moving the ball around, and I'm giving them a different look. So if anything, Tech defense should be appreciative of the look that Edmondson's giving OU right now.
Yeah, Edmondson pitched in the first game against Kansas, and she didn't allow any runs until the 7th inning, and then it was the top of the 7th. Kansas actually scored on a couple of home runs, scored 3 runs. She did not start this game, Edmondson. She came in in the bottom of the 4th to relieve Zoke. And a throw down to third.
At the plate, Grace Lyons. She has had a tremendous season at shortstop, and our watchers have probably seen her plays gracing the top 10 on ESPN. She's gone full extension on a few balls that I can't believe she got to. She really reminds me of my current teammate, but my former OU teammate, Shelby Penley. And I just draw comparisons between the two. Blue collar, Grace Lyons has a baseball background, so just kind of just in the dirt, getting it done, just solid athletes.
A strike painted on the outside portion of the plate.
I love watching Grace Lyons too, because believe it or not, when I dream at shortstop.
Really?
Is that funny? Like when I have softball dreams, I dream as short.
That's
I'm not at
fantastic.
first because that's boring. That's not dreamland. You know what I mean? Like I love first, but I'm at shortstop, like getting that relay off the wall, hosing somebody at home. So when I see Grace, it's like I watch myself in my dreams.
That's
I'm
fantastic.
being serious.
I love it. Live your dreams.
Live your dream through Grace Lyons. That's what I'm doing.
Lyons pops that one back, and Tech not able to get to it.
I did play short in high school.
I'm sure you did.
Coach Gasser just wanted a shortstop at first base.
Well, you have the great hands, the great swing, everything.
Thank you.
It was fun watching you play.
And then I tried to go back to short, and she said, no, no, no.
She said none of that.
We're done.
Full count. Fouls it off. Giving chase, but the Red Raiders can't get there. Lions battling at the plate. People just remember the home runs. I'm glad you're reminding us of all of the great fielding as well.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of good first base action, though.
I'm talking about
throughout
you.
This, no. Hey, I'm riding this wave of first basemen that are in this Big 12 tournament right now. We've seen so many plays over at first. I love it.
Ninth pitch of the at-bat. And it struck her out. The Big 12 Pitcher of the Year, G. Juarez. What a day she's had here in Oklahoma City.
G. Juarez just attacking hitters. She had a quick pace, and then as always, that off-speed ball is present, keeping Tech a little bit in limbo throughout all of their at-bats.
11 strikeouts for Juarez, and she is going to take a seat, at least for this game, in pool play. She is being replaced by Shannon Sale, the junior out of Land O'Lakes, Florida. A 1.08 ERA on the year for Sale. But what a day for Juarez.
Good thing about this Oklahoma staff is you don't have, all three of them are so important, and they're always ever changing. So if Juarez is having a good day, hey, we'll take this from you. I have trust in the rest of my pitching staff to win this ball game for you.
Kelsey Leach, the catcher. Reached on a walk, her last at bat. The only walk that Juarez gave up today. Sale comes back with the strike. Kelsey Leach draws a walk, and I have to get this in here because I think this is one of the great stories in the Big 12. Kelsey Leach's grandma played professional baseball for the Rockford Peaches.
Wow.
In the girls' professional baseball league that we all know from League of Their Own. And Kelsey Leach's grandma played for the Peaches.
That's incredible.
Isn't that great?
I love that just stayed in it, and the sport stayed in it. That's so cool. Love that.
So fantastic.
Taking lessons from grandma. I love it.
And then a pitch hitter comes in for Leach, or excuse me, pitch runner. And then also a pitch hitter at the plate as well. So Shelby Henderson is the pitch runner as we take a look at Sale's stats on the year.
Sale locates the ball and has a variety of pitches. The ball cuts just above most barrels. You can see the ball kind of getting out of the zone on a couple of these. You can see it right there with a bunt attempt. But it makes it very difficult for these hitters to hit that ball when it's just kind of moving around your barrel at the last second.
So Miranda Padilla, number 3, is the pinch runner in for Leach. And Shelby Henderson is the pinch hitter now in for Taylor Satchel. There's a good look at Padilla, a freshman out of Downey, California. Henderson, the transfer from Lamar, swings at a high pitch and goes down for the count. First strikeout for Sale.
Good work by Sale to bounce back from that walk, and just you see the ball climb, and huge hack from Henderson, but that ball again keeps going up.
So that brings the top of the lineup here in the top of the sixth for the Red Raiders. Carly Hamilton struck out her last at bat. Hamilton popped up in the first inning, then struck out. Although she led the Big 12 during the regular season with 73 hits. As we mentioned earlier, 7 triples on the year. Tries to lay down a bunt.
Hamilton just trying to find a way to put the ball in play. The Oklahoma defense hasn't had to do too much with Juarez pitching the way she has and Sale coming in. So anything we can do to kind of make the defense work, Tech put some pressure on an Oklahoma defense.
Gets a bat on it. Getting the lead runner with a nice play by Grace Green. And the fielder's choice.
Great play by Grace Green over at first base. You could see that it kind of took her over to her right. Had to get a good first step and then stayed low to get that out.
And so this brings up Heather Burton, who had a double, a leadoff double in the fourth, and then got caught trying to advance to third on a bobbled ball by the catcher, was not able to advance, and that took the scoring threat away for Texas Tech. That's really the only threat they've had on the base pads.
And it's tough with Burton wanting to, get more bases and wanting to be aggressive, because that's what you want out of your players. You want them to advance and look for the next opportunity, and she did that when she got that double. I don't know how much of, that next read when she got thrown out at third base by Elam was on her, or just Elam being a really good catcher. But I do like her aggressive stance and her mindset, and that's what you want from your players in these tournaments.
So the winner of each pool will advance to the championship game tomorrow. The teams that finish second in each pool will play for third place, and the teams that finish third will play for fifth. And in the strikeout, back-to-back strikeouts for Sale. We go to the bottom of the sixth here in Oklahoma City. It's the bottom of the sixth here in Oklahoma City in Pool A. As you take a look at the scoring inning by inning, the Sooners put 2 on the board in the second and 3 in the third to take the 5-0 lead here over the Red Raiders.
Tech just looking to put something together for the rest of this game and almost send a statement message. And this is what postseason looks like for some teams, is you get knocked down, but you want to have a strong push towards the end of the game. Postseason can do anything. We've seen that all day. There's lopsided wins, but then there's also people winning that shouldn't, or taking leads that you wouldn't think. So it's always important to fight for the end and fight till the finish.
So this will complete pool play, this game for Texas Tech, and depending on where they finish between Oklahoma, Texas Tech, and Kansas, they will advance to play tomorrow. And a pop-up to right field for Romero for the first out of the bottom of the sixth.
Romero with a good swing on it just early, and that's what you've seen from these Oklahoma Sooners with Edmondson on the mound, is just a little off timing.
Peyton Blythe in right field for Texas Tech with the catch. And it brings up a View. She's walked her last 2 at-bats. The View pops it up. Deep center field. Going back to the fence is Carly Hamilton. And she snags it. Still no home runs in this game for the Oklahoma Sooners, who lead the nation in home runs per game. Texas Tech has to take a little bit of a moral victory out of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And Edmondson's really just doing everything she can to keep her team in here. Foley actually got a pretty good swing on that, just a tad bit early, but really the best timing that we've seen from OU in these later innings.
Clifton at the plate. She reached on a fielder's choice in the fourth.
One thing you can always see from senior Kaylee Clifton is those good active takes, and a lot of those Sooners do that throughout the lineup in their at-bats. If they're taking the ball, you can still see their back legs shifting, and you can still see them trying to approach the ball. Almost a yes, yes, yes to no. Like, yes, I'm committing to the softball until I see that it's a ball, just so that they're always prepared, and I've noticed that within this lineup.
How important is that, just to stay tuned in, even when you know it's not a strike, to stay tuned in that way?
Well, it's a lot harder to go back and make the decision to swing when you're saying no, no, no. It's a lot easier to stop than it is to get the body going.
One fouled out of play. Two and two count to the senior. Edmondson has stepped in and done a good job for Texas Tech, the 5'6" sophomore out of Deer Park, Texas. Just outside for a full count now. All 5 runs were scored against Missy Zoke for Texas Tech. Edmondson came in the bottom of the 4th. But allows a walk there.
And I think it becomes increasingly difficult for the pitchers because the advantage ends up going to these batters. Edmondson didn't miss very much there. That's a great location on that pitch. Kaylee Clifton with a great eye, but again, when you've seen these hitters and the hitters have seen the pitchers so many times, there's only so many places a pitcher can throw it, and there's a world of adjustments that your hitter can make. So it does get increasingly difficult for the pitchers heading into the tournament, having faced everybody so many times. You're just, the hitters are more comfortable. I know what you're going to throw, and there's only so much plate that you can bring the ball over.
Allo at the plate. Clifton on the top in the Big 12, and her patience at the plate.
2 away from Bayless with 38.
And they looked Clifton back as she strayed a little far away from first base.
Got a good glimpse of Kelsey Arnold over there coaching first base, former OU Sooner, a former Defensive Player of the Year for Big 12.
The Red Raiders coming together, making sure everybody's on the same page.
I have a feeling that this happens to Jocelyn Allo a lot. Timeouts right as she comes to the plate.
You have a feeling because that happened to you a lot?
No, I mean, it did quite a bit, but I just with a threat like that, because you try to dance around her, but she can still smash a couple balls off the plate. She's that strong. So you have to have a pretty good game plan with her. And I think really the smartest game plan with her hot is just staying away from her.
She pops one up to short center field, going to drop it in for a base hit. And hustling back to the bag is Kaylee Clifton just in time. So a single to move the runners for Allo.
Allo getting that ball on the inside corner of the plate. Just a little jammed. But at the Big 12 tournament in postseason, it hits a hit.
And it extends her hit streak now to 11 games in a row. And it brings Grace Green to the plate. She doubled her last at bat. So with the run rule in effect, the opportunity for the game winner at the plate.
What a lineup for Grace Green to learn from as well. Coming in as a freshman and you're surrounded by so many talented athletes that consistently get it done. It shows you a way of life, and she seems to be fitting in pretty seamlessly, and I'm excited for the rest of her career.
Smacks that one down the right field line. It's down. One run will score. Allo going to cross the plate as well, and a triple for Grace Green, her first triple on the season. And it scores 2 runs here at the Big 12 Championship.
Grace Green showing off her power, especially to the opposite field. Just a solid, brings her barrel up with the ball as well. Clutch from the freshman.
And now Shane Knighton at the plate with a little slide across home plate for Allo. And Knighton pops this one up. So 2 outs for Knighton. And if she can plate Green, though, this game will be over here in the bottom of the 6th with a run rule. Knighton came into the Big 12 Championship with 30 RBI, collected a couple more in the 3rd inning.
That's what I said.
Shea is a fan of the dramatics and has had a couple notable walk-offs, World Series walk-offs in her career, so she's no stranger to this situation here. And even when you're up on a team, to get that walk-off, and when you have, you know, your foot and your cleat,
And she gets it there.
there it is.
The RBI single for Shea Knighton, giving Oklahoma the run rule, the 8-0 victory over Texas Tech here in pool play.
Shea Knighton not doing too much, and that's exactly what you need there. You don't need an overswing. You don't need to be the hero hitting it over the fence. You just need a good part of the bat on the ball, and that's exactly what Shea did to give the Sooners this early win.
Oklahoma has run ruled now 24 opponents on the year, and they get it here in the 6th inning of the Big 12 Championship pool play. So Texas Tech moves to 1-1 in Pool A. Oklahoma will play Kansas in our last game of Pool A. And still over in Pool B, Iowa State leading Texas 2-0 in the top of the 7th. On behalf of Lauren Chamberlain, I'm Brenda Van Lengen. Oklahoma extending its consecutive win streak to 39 straight games this season, the best in Division I history, and victory in Pool A. They'll face Kansas tonight at 7:30 here on Fox College Sports. Join us again for that game.